Don't you know we're just starting? But you sure we got the clue how that this we go. Don't you know no more art? And as you look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then stormy weather's go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done there, but the time is hit you, you're not surprised.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is Dspnews, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Galtopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. No tagline. Ladies and gentlemen, first things first, a message was sent to us by the DIA. Shouts out to Agent Proper. The Pig Roach Files, I had promoted it, episode 1. I've been kind of all over the place lately, so I missed out on episode 2, and episode 3 just came out a couple of days ago. But all 3 episodes are out. I will link all of them in the description. If you guys haven't seen them yet, please check it out. Agent Proper is doing great things over there. I'm loving the concept of the DIA. Please go over there and support. That's what the 2 trailers were that you saw in the beginning of this video. I will probably put them in the end of the video also, because I need to promote that. So please check those out. Shouts out to Agent Proper. Secondly, shouts out to James the Lesser, the Jackal's Lair, and the rest of the fellas for the Jackal's Lair stream, or the Jackal's Lair and the boys, something like that. They've had a stream recently, and I will link that one in the description. I think they have another one coming up. I think they had another one come up. Well, I'll link the one that I'm initially talking about in the description. Please check out that. Let's see. What else? That's it. Let's go ahead and actually get into the broadcast at hand. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Snort, Burnell, DSP, one of our favorites, Dspgaming. Another sponsor stream, and I've become a wiser and mellow person. The sponsor stream part is the one that's the most important. And that's actually who the last shout is supposed to go to. A person by the name of Disguised Toast. He's a big Twitch streamer, and he also has a YouTube channel. I enjoy his content. I will leave the link to this particular video in the description. We're only going to take a small part of it, but I do plan to go over the video in its entirety on another day. Ladies and gentlemen, Disguised Toast is going to break down how sponsorship works and some of the different sponsorships you can get on Twitch. I think it's going to be an eye-opening experience, so I hope you guys like it. There are plenty of other people who have made videos, but his video in particular was recommended to me in a DM conversation I had with somebody else. So that's where we're going to go with that, and maybe I'll pick some other videos down the line and we can try to bring the whole circle together. As it pertains to the sponsorship deal, ladies and gentlemen, Phil Burnell is an absolute failure when it comes to sponsorship and sponsorship deals. He doesn't do well in the long term. And it's this year in itself, 2018 proves it. He's had a bunch of debacles over the span of the year, and the year's not even over yet. So, and for the new guy, shouts out to the new guy. I think his name's the new guy who's going to be doing the top 10 worst. Sorry, because his name escapes me at the moment. Actually, I just was on his channel. But I apologize. But when he does his top 10s, I don't envy the guy because that's going to be hard. Because there's just so many screw-ups. So it might be, maybe he'll do a top 20 instead. This year has been a really bad year for Phil. And so there's so many for this individual to choose from. I wish him the best of luck, and I think it's going to be great. I need to ask if he'll let me put the trailer in one of the broadcasts one day, just in case you guys haven't seen it. It's a great trailer. It's very well done. In any case, sponsorship deals and sponsorship streams. This will be Phil's third stream of the year off the Twitch bounty system, and the first two he's failed. The first one actually never even happened. It was supposed to be World of Tanks, I believe. That one was shut down before he could ever really get his hands on it. A Good Samaritan helped out with that. Second stream was Elo Hell, something along those lines. His playthrough of it was horrible, and when it came time for him to get paid after the stream, he basically messed up in the chat after he was done with the sponsor stream itself. Someone clipped that shit and sent it off to the developer, as well as some other things. The developer reacted swiftly and went right to Twitch. It was basically like, we don't want to be associated with this person ever. You guys need to do a better job with your screening process, and we're not going to pay him. Now, whether Phil was paid his little $100 for that stream, we don't know. It's speculated that he might have, but it wasn't through the developer. It was more likely out of Twitch's pocket. What are you going to do? The third stream, we don't know what the game is yet. Obviously, he's not going to tell anybody because he's scared that someone will report him and he'll lose this opportunity. It's been about 2 months since the last debacle, and Phil, in all good faith, I would think, needs this stream to go off without a hitch, without a doubt. Because if not, he might be out of the bounty system permanently. I'm sure Twitch has the option of doing that to you without banning you or suspending you off of their platform. So he needs things to go well. As it pertains to being a much more wiser and mellow person, it sounds like bullshit to me. Phil never really learns his lesson until after the fact, and by then it's already too late. Now, I will say that you're never too old to learn anything at all, and we all make mistakes, and we will all continue to make mistakes. The thing is with Phil is his mistakes were avoidable. By far, they were avoidable. They were common sense. But Phil wanted to be Phil and do things Phil's way, and that's why he is the perpetual failure that he is. Despite, for all of you guys who are fanboys of his, you can go ahead and throw his material bullshit out at me all you want. I'm not the one to have people gunning for me 24/7. And he doesn't know how to act, and he won't curb his behavior. It's very obvious that the way you treat people does not work. So maybe you should just treat them better and whatnot, and stop playing victim when you're attacked. And then say that, oh, I don't actually go after other people, or I only have my opinion in this, that, and the third. I don't understand why people are attacking me. Well, I have an opinion of you too. Snort Burnell has an opinion of you too. Almighty Tevin, praise be Almighty, has an opinion of you too. James the Lesser, Jackal's Lair, Memology 101, Mighty D, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Agent Proper. We all have opinions of you, and you want to bitch and complain about it, but yet you can talk shit about whoever you want. And, in turn, threaten to punch people, or have them lambasted, or go across the seas and shit and meet them at their front door. All things you've done in the past, Phil. You can lie about it all you want, but we all know it's true because there's evidence out there proving it. Yet again, that's our opinion. I'm sorry that it's too real for you to touch. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into the broadcast itself. I've talked you guys' ear off, at least as it pertains to this, long enough. Let's actually get into the broadcast at hand. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dspnews, always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. The GTG Network and Productions. You guys all know the slogan. It's time to watch me work.
Shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
I like how you're laughing, too.
Well, it's funny.
Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, I think we should take a moment to give that pig some credit. That pig right there is making sure that his filly is ready for the Triple Crown next year. That's good shit. I respect that. Out there, in the sun, in the dirt, doing what you have to do to make shit happen, to make sure that he can produce a winner. Gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that's devotion. That's dedication. That right there will be rewarded one day. Let's continue.
So I'm waiting for confirmation on this. This is big news. Looks like I'll be doing another sponsored stream. Now, I haven't done one of these since the summer.
I've been waiting for a good one. I know you're lying.
And finally, it looks like there's one that makes sense and is going to fit into the kind of stuff that I do. I'm not going to give you guys details. I'm going to do like I did last time. Basically, wait for the moment of in order to do this sponsored stream. All right. I haven't put it into the schedule yet simply because it's not 100% confirmed. I got the offer for it yesterday and I accepted it, but what happens is, I guess they review and then sometimes the truth of the matter is when you accept one of these sponsored streams on Twitch, they send you the game for free.
I'm not a constant shill and advertiser like they want me to be. So
Now, one, it's very obvious that he actually applied for it. So he should, I don't like the fact that he was being dishonest and he makes it sound like, oh yeah, they reached out to me and gave me the offer. It wasn't the case. You yourself applied for it. That's what you do. So that's the first thing. Second thing is him trying to wait till the last minute. Fine, so be it, but it didn't help you last time either. You actually played the game, and then there's still a speculation on whether you were paid for it or not. Whatever. So hiding doesn't necessarily do anything, but let the man do what he has to do. And 3, why is it that he's doing a sponsored stream? Why is it that he's being a paid shill, if you will? Well, for one, Tut's gone. The greatest whale that ever graced the coast of Galtopia, we'll say the west coast of Galtopia, is gone. Bye. Bye-bye. Gone. So, with that being said, now the pig has to go ahead and put himself to the ground and morph into the half-roach aspect of him and get to work and do some real grinding. And it's funny how when he does stuff, paid advertisements, so on and so forth, oh, I'm doing it because I have to, but when other people do it, oh, it's chilling. Yet he doesn't see not even 1/10 of the money they make. So what the hell are you shitting on other people for? Why is that even necessary? Oh, because you don't have anything to you except for shitting on other people. It's the only way he can really express himself. He doesn't know how to be a decent human being, even though he talks about being a human being and being a flawed individual and so on and so forth. We all know these things. That's obvious. But yet again, you're a hypocrite too. You're doing those people are doing whatever they have to do to put themselves to wherever they need to be, just like you, except for you're not going anywhere. You're back there in the mud, walloping in your own shit, while other people are taking their money, saving it, investing it, and doing what they need to do to get to the next day, or the next week, or the next month, or whatever their financial situation works. Begging is not something that happens. And I think Phil is one of those, even a Twitch thought doesn't beg. You know what I mean? So what makes Phil think that he's above them? And this whole high and mighty moral shit doesn't mean anything. It's dumb. Being the realest guy on YouTube don't mean shit. But let's continue. DSP News.
Make money. Very, very, very hypocritical.
Okay, so I'm waiting. If I get the code for the game, then I'll be good to go. Alright, but I need to get the code for the game first so that I can actually do this on Tuesday night. Alright. So, hoping everything goes alright, knock on wood. That everything goes good. And, again, I can't give you full details or anything on this at all because there's certain negative assholes who like to give me shit and like to basically try to cause problems for me when it comes to this kind of stuff, regardless of the fact that I've done nothing wrong. And all the shit that they say about me to get me in trouble when I try to do a sponsored stream is completely false.
A silver-tongued talker, right? Oh, I'm just going to say it one way, and hopefully you'll believe it, even though that's not the truth. And that's literally what's happening here. The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar and lying to everyone. But people are believing it because they don't know any better.
They basically, oh, you want Phil playing your game sponsored? Didn't you know that he's a pedophile and he's a racist and he scams his fans and he jerked off on stream in front of thousands of small children and he does this and that? And it's all false. It's all bullshit.
Do you know there's like a guy in our group right now who's like streaming this whole thing? He's sort of like semi-famous.
Oh, yeah, I think that's Darkside Phil. He was the guy that got caught for masturbating in front of children.
Yeah, that's
so in
so
front of children.
he was caught masturbating. I think he's like 35 years old.
Now, as I'll save my point until after this part is done. But why did he sit there and let himself go through this? Why? What was he trying to fulfill in this moment that he felt this was a smart idea to engage with these guys? Let's continue.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he was masturbating in front of children
That's
on
right.
YouTube live stream. Hilarious. He's like he's a pervert or something. I think he's a
That's
pervert
right, I'm a
or
huge
something.
pervert, guys. That's all I do. I just masturbate constantly in front of children. You're absolutely right. That's what I'm known for.
You got exposed for doing that. That's
I got
that's like-
completely exposed.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you did. You didn't even know the camera was
You
on.
know every inch of
Are
every inch of my dick
Are
and
you
balls.
the
Right?
guy?
You know
Are
every
you the
inch of
guy?
my dick and balls.
It's the guy watching his Twitch. Is that really him? Is he the one that got caught, Matt?
Yes.
Really? He was the guy that got caught masturbating in front of children. I think he's like 30.
That's
He's like in his
right.
30s or something. He's in his 30s and he did that in front of children.
That's right. Yes.
But
On-
I've seen
on
so much.
purpose.
I'm a fan.
What?
I don't know what to say.
Of course. Of course, and I did it
Well,
on
there's
purpose.
his admission to the flapping.
That's why I'm still on Twitch and I'm still on YouTube and not banned, right?
Yeah, so you didn't get banned? You didn't get
So being a
fired?
laughingstock of the internet is okay because he's still on Twitch and he's still on YouTube. At least he got the chair, right?
From any MCNs or anything, right?
No.
You didn't get fired from machinima? No? No?
No, I didn't.
No? Oh, you didn't,
No.
you didn't get released? And what about Lavaria? Lavaria,
Oh
what did
my
they do?
god.
They dropped you.
No, they
cut you
didn't.
when they found out that video. And I really feel bad for Leanna because she seriously has mentally
my God.
problems.
Here we
I
go.
feel bad
Whoa,
for
this
her.
is really
I feel bad
personal.
for her because Leanna is innocent. And you're the one.
Here we go.
You know, but they do that. They spam the fuck out of the internet.
Now, let's take just a moment to go over this. What was the point of that? What was gained from that? It was obvious going in that Phil couldn't win. It was very, very obvious. The moment that he played into this guy's hands and he admitted that, yeah, I did it in front of all these children, this, that, and the third. Even in sarcasm, you lost. Because at the end of the day, the admission is all that anybody ever needs to hear. Period. No one's going to sit there, at least from like a developer or a sponsor, is going to sit there and deep dive the rest of the bullshit and try to actually weave their way through it. There's no time for that. Fuck that. So they're going to go ahead and take that and use that against you. Then you went ahead and provided a sound clip for all the detractors, trolls, and haters. So that was beneficial. And then you showed exactly how vulnerable you are as it pertains to that ex-girlfriend. You know what I mean? We all know, well, we've all known, but we all know that if you really want to get him pissed off, Leanna's it. Leanna is his soft spot. It's the one part in his Galtopian steel armor that is really just a giant fat piece of what's the word I'm looking for? It's his pig belly, if you will. That's all it is. It's the most vulnerable aspect of him. He can't avoid it. You know what I mean? And he can't protect against it. You let that guy basically shit on you for what? What did that prove? What was to be gained from it? You couldn't fight your way out of it. And then when the other guys chimed in just to get their little piece, you couldn't do much for that either. And then he played your whole history up. He completely and totally humiliated you. And you let him. And then you ran. You ran when the ex-girlfriend came up. Because you couldn't say anything about that. When you sat there and exposed that girl and her condition and whatnot, you immediately realized that shit, I can't beat this, and then you ran. You ran. With no other recourse left to you. You sat there and stood in there that long, you could at least try to fight that off, but you couldn't. So why'd you fight him in the first place? You should have just muted those guys, or you should have just got out of that lobby and found another one. What was to be gained by that? You made yourself look completely and totally inept with that. You proved to be as stupid as people say you are. And for what? To be a sound clip someone greater than yourself. Oh, sorry. I've been wanting to address that for a little while now. Wow. Gotta love Snort Burnell. Let's continue.
Whenever I try to do something like this, and then of course any sponsorship opportunity that I have, they get turned off. They're like, man, I want to fucking deal with that shit, you know. I can't believe this guy's playing our game and all of a sudden thousands of these fucking brainless, mouth-drooling idiots fucking spamming negative shit all over the internet. What the fuck is this? We don't want to be associated with this, you know. So, I can't reveal details about this at all, okay?
Now here's the funny part. Every gamer, well, sorry, most Twitch streamers, I should say, have some type of negative stigma on them. If you don't believe me, check out Streamers Reloaded. It's a YouTube channel, great channel. And they go over this. I think they post every Sunday. But he has a large body of work. It's great. So every streamer has some type of baggage, if you will. You know what I mean? The thing is Phil putting out 50,000 plus videos, at least on Dspgaming, it caught up to him. He documented his life for the last 10 plus years. He can't dispute any of it. It was just too much. It's very easy just to pick one video by anybody and send it to the developer. And all they have to do is give it 10 minutes and be like, oh boy, hell no, we don't want this. And that's what happened with the last sponsor. That's how the game is played. See, you went out, and this is what I've been trying to tell you, Dave. You keep going after short-term money, and at the end it didn't get you anywhere. Yes, you have this house that's not paid off, and that you're begging children to help you pay for. Not on top of the property tax, and then on top of whatever back taxes you owe on top of that. For what? So you could document every aspect of your life so people could go ahead and dissect every lie that you ever proposed? What was it all worth? What was it all for? Yet again. So, and more importantly than that, to be honest, it just goes back to the developers. It doesn't take long to go ahead and do a little bit of research, but it's very obvious, at least in the Elo Hell, I think that's the name of the last sponsorship, that developer didn't know who got what. Basically, they left that in Twitch's hands. Twitch, put it out there on the board. Phil applied for it, and then next thing you know, everything was a clusterfuck after that. Hence the reason why that developer was like, don't let this happen again. It is what it is. There's way too much ammo out there. I could literally run a podcast as well as this broadcast, I should say, 3 or 4 days a week for like the next 10 years, and I would still not be able to cover everything you do. It is what it is. You'll never beat this. You know what I'm saying? For all those people out there who are like, oh, eventually it'll all run out. Eventually Phil will fizzle out. And he will, by far. That's what everybody's waiting for. Everybody's waiting for the train to crash. His body of work is almost everlasting. There's so much there that no one can ever delve through it. If you had to pick who is one of the greatest historians of DSP stuff, at least active, I should say, it would probably be Tevin. It's probably Tevin. And then there's definitely some other people who I'm not too familiar with after that, who know the deepest, darkest lore. You know what I mean? Stuff that you can't necessarily find in a video anymore. You know what I mean? Or videos that are already gone, like those pre-streams that, whether they were reactivated or not after Spamgate, we don't know. But there's a body of work that's just not there anymore. It's not available. Where a lot of the lore is at. Or for people who want to go over there and look at Panda's old videos. I saw that in the Tevin stream recently where he talked about that. That's where there's just so much. There's too much, if you will. There's too much. But then again, you guys know what the motto over here is at GTG Network and Productions. You can never have too many, you can only have plenty. Let's continue.
Actually happening. Again, it's not confirmed yet. If this does work out and everything goes fine, then it'll be Tuesday night. My later stream, around 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, will be about 2 hours of a sponsored stream, and I hope that it goes through. Everything will be great. If not, no skin off my back. It's not that big of a deal. FYI, right now, what's winning the poll? Because some people might be wondering. I wonder what's winning that poll for Halloween. A celebrity. I have 5 categories. I think I have video game character, classic Halloween horror character, celebrity, pop culture, and I think there's one more. I apologize, I don't have it off the top of my head. I don't remember all 5 categories. But celebrity is winning. So right now, not too many people have voted. I think people are gonna wait. I'll push it more by the end of the month, and I'm sure patrons will get in there and start voting better near the end of the month. But yeah, if I dress up as a celebrity, what celebrity would I dress up as? I have no idea.
My nose is itching today. I said it before, it's happening again. I don't know.
I mean, Donald Trump would probably be a good choice. Hugh Hefner would probably be a good choice. He did steal another man's woman. Or horse, however you want to word that. It'd be funny if if they asked him to dress up as like PewDiePie or Ninja or Markiplier. That'd be hilarious. That'd be fucking hilarious if they made him do that shit. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one. Either way, it's going to be half-assed anyway. Dspnews.
Maybe it's dust in my office, or I don't know.
Infinite55 swung by the stream at 12:43 a.m. Woo! Getting up there late at night, man. And he said he did a 100-bit cheer. He said, Phil, I'm not sure if this was discussed during your pre-stream.
Speaking of which, let's talk about Kat for just a second. So, as you guys may or may not know, I'm sure you guys know, that she's been going to work. She's been working later and later shifts, and I would assume she's still going to the gym 3 or 4 days a week and whatnot. So she's going after work, I would assume. And while she's at the gym putting in that work, I'm sure Jim is at the gym putting that work into her. In any case, have you guys noticed over like the last maybe week, maybe two, where he's been much more irritable? Even before Tut left, he seems to be a lot more. He seemed to be very short-tempered. He seemed to be very irritated. He seemed very, very frustrated, and it makes you wonder if she does really live there. Now, as you guys may know, I think it's a James the Lesser theory that Kat and Phil don't sleep in the same bed. Good for her. That she's actually sleeping in like a fold-out cot or a futon in her office, bedroom / office. I think is a fair description. So if that's the case, it may be that the facade, or the magic, I should say, of the whole soulmate thing is starting to fade in that house. In turn, she's becoming more and more distant. In turn, because she's working later, Din is not on the table like it used to. She's coming home later. When she comes home, she probably grabs a shower and then heads to bed immediately, not saying anything to him. Hence the reason why he would be staying up later and later and later. If you guys know, some of his streams were carrying later and later into the evening. There's all kinds of reasons, to be honest, on what's been eating at him. Not that we have to go into what's eating her, or who is eating her, I should say. But what's been eating at him. And so as we go into, and then with the loss of Tut, of course, going into the hardcore begging season, he's in a pretty bad spot. Because Tut, for sure, was making up the $10,000 a month plus the bonus on top of that. And now that's not there anymore. That's non-existent. So he's really going to have to cut corners to make up, his $10,000 minimum. And he's losing the faith of the pig roach cult. The roach nest is shrinking more and more and more. His viewership is drying up. You know what I mean? It's not dry yet. But it is drying up in the morning and at the evening. The evening was always the weaker stream anyway. So what is he really going to do when that time comes about? It seems like he's trying to go for he's trying to transition, I should say, into one stream. Excuse me, which is what he should have done a long time ago. And by the way he's trying to set up his schedule, he was trying to go for having weekends off, it looks like. Now he took off Monday, but that was because of the sub purge, the gifted sub purge. Matter of fact, I think somebody said something about him taking next Monday off too, which would probably be best. But the question is why. My theory is that that next big purge of subs is going to happen next Monday. Speaking of which, he went from like 1,100 subs down to like 600, 650, something along those lines. So I would assume he's going to lose another 300 next Monday, if that is the case. And of course, he didn't want to be on stream for that because that was going to be embarrassing. What you going to do? Nothing he could do. So everything's falling apart. He had his Moby Dick for a little while, and everything was going good. And his fan base, mainly Sidella and Swaggin, screwed it all up for him. But the interesting thing is, they were enacting his will. What happens when you're not loyal to Dave? Dave gets rid of you. He humiliates you first, or at least he attempts to, and then he gets rid of you. Yeah, eventually he'll ask you to come back like Jake Likes Cats, but he didn't humiliate him. Like, basically, Jake Likes Cats made him spurg out and made him look like a complete total idiot. But with Tut, I mean, I'm sure behind the scenes he keeps messaging him and saying, please come back, please come back, please come back. But he should just take the Dear John letter and move along with it. It's all he can do for now. Which goes back to what I've said about the Machinima situation. When Machinima said, we're not sure what's going on, just keep doing what you're doing and we'll work things out, he should have taken that at face value and just moved back to Twitch. And he would have been okay for another year or so until they eventually were going to drop him too. But he had to run his mouth. He had to think he was special. He thought it was just going to be so damn important, and then he just got kicked. It's what happens when you're very short-sighted, when you're very narrow-minded, and you have no perception and no plan for the future. A person can only live by the seat of their pants for so long, until the seams give away. Dspnews.
But Skybound founder Robert Kirkman, if you guys aren't aware, Robert Kirkman is one of the co-writer and founders of The Walking Dead, announced that he will be working in conjunction with members of the original Telltale team to complete the 2 remaining episodes of the final season of The Walking Dead. So, for me, this is a mixed bag, because I'm sorry, but I did not see this in any news outlets or anything, stating that Skybound was committing to rehiring the previous Telltale employees to get them employment to finish this game. I didn't see that anywhere. What I saw was just Skybound's announcement on Twitter and a bunch of media outlets picking up on that and saying Skybound's finishing The Walking Dead, and that's it. I don't know if there is more information that just hasn't been made like mainstream public yet, or if people are just speculating. But for me, of course I'm gonna be happy that Clementine will finally get a legit ending after 4 fucking seasons and 8+ years of playing the games with her. At the same time, I don't know if I want to play it if it's made by a bunch of new workers and not the people who put all the time and effort into making this to begin with. Okay?
He is a hypocrite for saying the stuff he said, okay?
I'm sorry, but, this is one of those situations where I think I gotta have to stand on my morals, and unless, it's confirmed that Skybound is going to bring in the original team that was making this game and hire them and pay them to finish the game, which is what should have happened to begin with, I don't know if I want to play it. I'm gonna be honest here, I'm sorry, but I'm tired of it. I'm not gonna do that. That's bullshit to me, and I care less.
That sounds to me like sore feelings from when he was dropped from the helicopter company all those years ago.
Sorry, do I care about Clementine as a character? Sure, after 8 years, but I'm not gonna fucking play a game that supports the practices of a company that fires everyone and then hires new people to finish the game. What the fuck?
But it's a double standard, right?
Okay, so let's jump in there for a minute. First things first, his morals, fuck his morals. Doesn't have any. I don't know why he's trying to seem so... like he's the epitome of humanity at that point. Like he's some type of emotional humanitarian or some shit. I don't know what the hell the point of any of that was. First things first, he doesn't give a damn about The Walking Dead. He doesn't give a damn about the staff. He doesn't give a damn about the company. At the end of the day, it was just a game to be played. It was just a cash grab, as all games are to him. Period. Second thing, how much does he really care about the character of Clementine? He doesn't. He's talked mad shit about her the whole time he's played the whole incarnation of the game itself. The whole time he talked shit. And then he really showed his ass when she had that scene. I'm not sure if it's when she got bit by a dog or she got injured in some way where she had that huge gash on her arm. She had to sew herself together. Sew herself back together, I should say. Or at least sew the wound. And he sat there and basically let his own sadomastic type tendencies come out as this girl purposely screw up the sew job because he's a piece of shit, obviously. Hence that 11-year-old that he wanted to smack for talking to him a certain type of way. Third, as it pertains to the actual development team itself, he doesn't give a rat's ass about any of them. First off and foremost, logic dictates that they will bring the old staff back in because why not? You don't have time to prep a whole nother team and tell them to pick up where they left off. If you can get the development team back, the original development team, then why wouldn't you? Get them back in there, get them paid, finish off the game, pray that it'll be a great success, and then everybody goes on their way. There is no type of moral aspect to this. This is business, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't personal. You know what I mean? It's like any other corporation that has to lay some people off. You do it because you have to. If you can bring them back to finish up the project, by all means, initially you should try to finish the project. If you don't think the project's going to work, it's going to be dead in the water, then you cut your losses. There's no morals about that. That's just how the game is played. Of course, these people have families, they have bills to pay, they have all that shit, but that's the price of doing business. And I hate to sound cold about that, but that's what that is. And whatnot. For any of you guys who have an office position like myself, you know what I'm talking about. That's just the way the game is played and whatnot. So there is no morals about any of this shit. But as it pertains to Phil caring about their feelings, why would he? What incentive does he have? Phil doesn't care about anything and anybody unless there is some payoff for him. He says he's a businessman and he's running a business. He is, in a lot of ways, as ruthless as most people in business are. When it comes down to someone who is not useful to you anymore, you cut them loose. Phil is the epitome of that in a lot of ways. Now, I'm not saying that's always the ways about it, because people aren't useless. But to Phil, they are. To Phil, if you are not beneficial to me, then you've got to go. And even one or two backpedals on your part, you're done. It is what it is. That's just how his behavior is. If you guys have been paying attention, you know what I'm talking about. So whether he gives a shit that the company comes back or not, he doesn't really give a damn about that. At the end of the day, the last 2 chapters are going to come out. Everybody's going to be playing those given the current situation, and he's going to jump on that bandwagon too like a good hoe. Because that's what a hoe do. She need to go out there and make that money. And that's what he's going to do. He has no other real choice. You really think he's going to go ahead and pass up the last 2 chapters of The Walking Dead before the series itself is gone? No. He might get stupid and say, oh, well, I'll play it at a later time. I don't want to play it right now because I have other games to play. He might do that and then catch no views, because by then everybody would have played it. Everybody would have seen other people watch it. He would only be pandering to the few people who really want to see Phil watch it. And let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, that group of people is slowly but surely drying up. That they're dwindling at this point. The hardcore 400 people he used to have on stream is looking a whole lot like 290, 295 maybe. That's what it's kind of looking like. So let's not make any bones about Phil giving a damn about anybody else, because that's just not the case. Dspnews?
Double standard. Listen, I am no moral authority on anything, folks.
You know, that's fucked up. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. If this actually does confirm that these people are actually going to be hired again and get the pay they deserve and, you know, be treated fairly, then yeah, I cannot wait for the final 2 episodes to come out and to finish the story of The Walking Dead.
But if that's not the case and another whole group gets brought in to fucking make this game, and those people who busted their asses for years and years to put out great Telltale games for us basically just got tossed to the wind and get fucked, then I'm not doing it. I don't care. I won't play it. AES cheered. He says, I was blocked yesterday on Twitter by someone after I told him there is no need to curse or insult people for having different opinions. That's like me, right? That's like me. I'm glad to see that you stirred away from acting in a similar fashion. I have, you know. Fuck you. You're a liar. Good, now I'm away from that annoying fucking bitch of a kid who I would have slapped in real fucking life if they talked to me like that.
There's one thing if someone is like, my opinion is the only opinion. It's the right opinion. And therefore, how dare you disagree with me? Or how dare you be so stupid as to not agree with me? Okay? I'm going to be honest. I used to be like that. I used to be very obstinate.
You're still like that. You're still like that. Recent events that just happened prove that. But we'll get into that in just a second.
Kind of, I'm better than thou kind of attitude when I was on the internet. And I felt that my opinions were the opinions. And that if anyone disagreed with me, they were stupid. And over the years, 10 years that I've now done content creation, I have learned an incredible amount. I've become a much wiser, much more mellow person. I understand things a lot better. I can now look into perspective. I mean, I'll be honest, I used to be staunchly one way or another way when it comes to these kind of issues. And now I kind of like, I like to try to actively see a situation from everyone's perspective to understand the entire situation. What I have found over the years is that even though many people, and I hate to say it, many immature people and many unwise people like to think the world's black and white, what I found is that the world is actually many shades of gray. that there is no definitive right and wrong. There is no definitive this is the right.
Now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, he's 36 years old. He's 36 years old. He's been on the internet for 10 years, and he's just now realizing that. Just keep that in mind.
Course of action or right opinion to have, and this is the completely incorrect one. What I found is different perspectives, different ways of life, different cultures, and how people think it could be different, and that's okay. Alright? And it's taken me a long time to kind of adjust to that and accept that and live up to that. It has. You know? But when you'll hear me today, when I go on a rant, which I do every once in a while, you'll hear me say...
You want videos on YouTube? Pledge to
So,
Patreon.
the first 20 years that he was on this planet, before YouTube, the first 26 years of life that he's lived, before YouTube, he had no inkling of any of that. He didn't realize that going online and saying racist and sexist stuff didn't make any fucking sense. It didn't make much sense to sit there and degrade people who gave you money, who supported you, who made sure that you enabled you to make a living on the platform that you made. It didn't occur to him that when you're in a project with multiple people who are giving up one of the most valuable things that you have in life, which is time, which is your time, that offering them a little bit of compensation, even if they don't want it, is reasonable. So much so, in fact, that you thought that it was a good idea to go and lease, not even buy, but to lease a BMW and rub it in their face. And you didn't realize that. You didn't realize that when you got into a bit of a disagreement with your friends, that maybe, just maybe, putting out their text messages wasn't a good idea. Maybe you should have kept that to yourself. That's like sharing DMs. You don't do it. No matter what's in it, you don't share a DM or a private message or a text message or an email with people. You don't do it. But you thought that was a good idea. How did he make it this far in life without having any type of reason or morals? Fuck morals, but just have some common sense. But now all of a sudden he sees the light. Just like how Sidella, apparently, hi Sidella's mom. We had a great time last weekend, by the way, and I'll leave it at that. But just like Sidella, who wants to run around, speak his racism bullshit, and then go ahead and hide behind, I'm disabled. And then when that shit didn't work, I want to hide behind God. Forgive them for they not know what they do. You know, it's funny though, because that's a bit of a conflict, Alex, because you're a racist, right? And because you don't mind, scripting some of that Nazi paraphernalia every once in a while. Back in the day, when the Nazis actually had some control, people like you were considered undesirables. Maybe, just maybe, you want to look into that a little bit before you talk down to anybody else. Because before they started eradicating other people, they were pretty quick to eradicate people like you. And I'm not condoning that. Nobody does. But before you spit any more racism, you might want to think about that. You might want to think about what they thought about people like you. And I'm not saying it's your fault that you're where you're at. But please believe you have no excuse for thinking that way. Because you and Chris Chan would have been some of the first people to go. Real talk. So think about that the next time you want to call people what you call people. And do yourself another fucking favor. Leave those young girls alone. You might want to do that. Because just because you wear glasses doesn't mean you can't get hit. Dspnews.
Give me your money. Give me money. Oh no. What a greedy bastard.
It's okay to disagree with me, or it's okay to like something I don't like, or it's okay to do this or that I don't particularly, enjoy. Because I know that people like different things. It's, as they say, different strokes for different folks. And that's fine. As long as the thing that you like or your opinion doesn't definitively hurt other people, then it's okay to have it, okay? So you're absolutely right, AES. I used to be the kind of obstinate person in the past, a long time ago, where I would have an opinion. If you disagree with me, fuck you. Block that person. You're an asshole. Deride that person. Make fun of them. Publicly lambast them. Or is it lambast or lambast? I forget how you pronounce the word. But basically make it like they're completely wrong and laugh at them and make fun of them. And I'm not like that anymore. Now I am much more of an open-minded guy. And I'm actually very happy.
Really? Does that come after the loss of King Tut? Because it's funny how when you look at the King Tut saga itself, we'll go over that eventually. that when he first got there, you had this air of suspicion around him. And then once you confirmed the money, then you were sucking his dick. Then two other people, one, the racist that we just spoke about, and then Swaggins sat there and got butthurt because he was getting all the attention and they weren't, and then went after him when you weren't ready for them to, and then he ends up bouncing, leaving you high and dry. And Sidella and Swaggins can't necessarily pick up the slack. Now, here's the funny part. If I remember correctly, Tut was giving money to Low Tier God. I've gone over this before in other broadcasts, and because of the money that he gave to him, and people that you have watching Low Tier God reported that back to you, it's funny how you find out about that, you try to change your tone a little bit and try to seem more gracious towards Tut when he's there. And because the Twitch chat is broken up, so you can kind of have secret chats within chats, take that for what you will. That doesn't explain all of it, but you know what I'm getting at. I'm sure that you asked people to be on their best behavior while Tut was there. Problem is they still broke rank, or as you like to call Brightside Viking, went rogue, and screwed the whole thing up for you. Then Tut says, well, you don't really need all the support anymore because he's giving you so much money, and he leaves. Then you throw this air of suspicion on him, like, oh, he might have been a detractor. So now, what reason does he even have to come back now that you essentially have the Gestapo watching everybody, which you've always have. But now he's going to have this air of suspicion when he gets there. Why would he deal with that? Even the people there who like him and whatnot, excuse me, you've threatened to ban because you're tired of hearing Tut's name. And he had his choice of liking other people. He had his choice of talking to whoever he wanted to talk with. Theo is probably the first person I can think of who he spoke to. How did any of that hurt you? How did any of that affect you? That was all on his time, and that was all on his dime. A dime that you don't even have 2 nickels now to rub together because he's gone. And subs are dropping. A snake doesn't change its scales in a day. Dspnews.
Really, honestly, happy for that I am like that now, okay? I don't want to be an older guy, a guy who's getting older, which I'm not super old. I'm 36 years old. I'm not super old or anything, but I don't want to be a guy that as he gets older becomes harder and more and more obstinate. You know what I mean? Like someone who's so set in his ways that now he becomes the crotchety old guy who you go to see rant and rave about this and that. I don't want to be that. Actually, it's been the opposite for me.
That's what you're like right now, to be honest with you. And though you are 36, you look much older, but that's for obvious reasons, of course. And it's not like you can go back in time or anything. No pun intended. So, who you are is who you are. You'll never be able to change any of those things. You'll never be able to go back. And sadly, there'll probably be no redemption for people like you. I understand that there are detractors out there who believe you can turn around. Who believe that you can still make good. And maybe you can. Maybe. But not everybody will accept that. And because of that, there'll always be a core group of people who will always think the worst of you. And that's why you can't get anybody to believe you now. Because you've lied for so much, for so long, that everybody just assumes it's a lie. And that's why people fact check you. Like that whole valedictorian situation, to be exact. You can't be trusted. Even within your own fan base, they see that. They just go to you because they have nowhere else to go. Because they're all known and been exposed. So they can't go anywhere else, not without an air of suspicion. But then that's not necessarily true. Look at Brightside Viking. He was able to transition, and he waged war on the very place that he now calls home. Imagine that. So, for those people who are fans of DSP, choose, at the end of the day, you'll see the light for what it is when you see it. But you should know that you can always go somewhere else. You're not stuck there. He's not your end-all, be-all. And the sooner that you at least realize that, the better off you'll be. Just a piece of advice. Dspnews.
be like that, and now I'm becoming more and more just about having fun and relaxing with you guys and enjoying games at face value rather than being the guy that has to be the controversial guy who rips a new game's a new asshole or talks about this controversial topic and goes on a rant, okay? So, it's called improvement. It's called self-improvement, okay? So, AES, I'd actually like to say thank you because you're saying that actually makes me feel good because it's hard when you have a track record of 10 years, and some people are like, man, Phil used to be an asshole, you did this and did that. It's good to hear that people now in 2018 are actually feeling that I am changing and I am a better person than I was. So thank you for that. That actually was a really nice message, in my opinion, okay? Thank you.
I have to go collect money or something.
Alright, shout out to the Canada Sin, who cheers says, will you start doing sponsor streams every other week? I remember you were thinking of doing that over the summer, and that would be cool. Well, here's the deal, Canada Sin. Here's what happened. Basically, Twitch's sponsored bounty board, which is what they call it, apparently has been having tons of issues, and or they're having internal things with the program and just don't want to talk about it, because my understanding was that the bounty board was supposed to refresh once a week with new offers, and based off of those offers, you could pick the best ones that fit your schedule and or fit the kind of games you want to play, and you know, this would be an ongoing process. All of a sudden, the bounty board completely dried up for almost a month, and there was like maybe every once in a while one or two.
Now, Snort Burnell brings up a very excellent point, which leads into my theory. So after the last bounty, well, his first official bounty stream, where he screwed up, that game company was like, we don't want no parts of that, don't let this happen again. I think for him individually, as an individual, as Snort Burnell saying, everything dried up for him. Now let's throw out an analogy for a minute. So let's say that myself, Almighty Tevin, praise be Almighty, James the Lesser, Jackal's Lair, LSB, and I don't know anybody else. So let's pick one more person. And G Money we're all on Twitch, right? And each one of us are in a different position. Some of us are partnered, some of us are affiliate, some of us are just regular people, right? Okay. Now, this is just my theory. I don't know exactly how the system works per se, but there has to be some type of nuances between those different levels. So what if that for the people who aren't partnered yet, but and who are not affiliates yet, but who can at least participate in this bounty system, what if certain games are available to them? And then as you go up the level, more and more games are available, as well as the quality of games are available. Let's say that this bounty system, each game pays slightly different. Let's just say it does. I don't think it does. I think they all pay the same across the board. But, what's up, Kenny? Okay, never mind. Well, Kenny says we actually have a video going over that. So we actually got it. So give me a second. But let's say that they pay slightly different and whatnot, depending on where your position is at, from partner to, a non-partnered person. Let's say that I'll take the position of bad guy because I like that anyway. Let's say that I end up spurging out one night on stream for whatever reason, and the sponsored game that I was playing, or I had played the day before, is like the developer for that is like, whoa, we don't have too much of a problem with him. He's always been good with us, but we need you to discipline him for this situation. He went way out of hand. So Twitch comes to me and is like, hey man, you might have to just chill off the bounty system for a little while. We have to discipline you because of such and such. So they say, okay, you're off the bounty system for about 2 weeks. Let's say that, excuse me. And then when I come back, let's say the amount of games that used to be available to me, as well as the quality of games, have been limited, right? Because I'm on like suspension, if you will. You know what I mean? I'm being disciplined for me acting like a total asshole. What if, in the last 2 months that Phil had that situation with the last developer, that when the bounty system refreshes day after day or week after week or whatever the case may be, they purposely limited what he saw and whatnot moving forward as a disciplinary act. And then that's why he didn't deal with it. Maybe his person there told him, hey man, I can't help you. You're just going to have to bite the bullet for at least a couple months, and then games will start to trickle back in. And he just bit the bullet. That's the reason why he didn't mention anything about it. That's the reason why he didn't say anything about it. That's why he didn't participate in anything. Now, it's not a sound theory, but if I had to guess as it pertains to tiers, you got to think that your ninjas, your shrouds, your Dr. Disrespects, and guys like that, they definitely get they get the pick of the litter when it comes to the bounty system. If they choose to participate, of course. They get the pick of the litter. And then everybody else kind of just, depending on your status on Twitch, it depends on what you get. It's just something to think about. Let's let him finish this point, and then we'll get into the soundbite.
Offer for like a mobile game, which I didn't want to do. You know, I don't want to drop my whole schedule here. It's one thing if it's an indie game or a console game. I don't want to drop everything I'm doing to play a fucking mobile game out of nowhere to do a sponsored stream. I'm not that kind of guy. You know what I mean? So really, there haven't been any opportunities going on in regards to the bounty board at all for sponsorship. Like, it's been dead. And I actually have been in contact with Twitch asking what is going on, because you guys really heavily promoted this during the summer. Like, this was going to be a big thing. And what happened to it? And basically the response I've been getting, I'll be very honest with you guys, is, oh, well, the bounty board team is saying they're having problems and that things don't display properly and all that. I don't know if I should believe that or not. You know, it could be a combination of many factors. You know, I don't know what those factors are. It could be many things. I mean, obviously I could lean
personal accountability has to play a factor in this equation, ladies and gentlemen.
Negative and say, oh, it's because detractors harassed the game developer of the last sponsor stream that I did. It could be that.
Oh my god.
It could be legitimately that they're having technical issues with the bounty board that doesn't display properly and people don't see any offers. It could be a combination. It could be that maybe they just didn't have any offers during the summer, and now that we're heading into the fall, you're going to get more offers because now there's more games that want promotion, right? I don't know. It could be a combination of things. All right? If the bounty board ends up getting a lot of great opportunities to play games coming up in the next few months, and it's games that I'm interested in, and aren't things that are going to stick out like a sore thumb in my schedule, I'm like, the hell, why is Phil playing in? Then I'll probably do it. I'll probably do a sponsored stream here or there. Will it be every other week? I have no idea. It all depends, okay, on what's available. It's out of my hands, you know. Whatever shows up, and if it's something that looks good, and I accept it, and then I get accepted into the program, then I do it. But that's kind of what happened in the summer. There was an offer, I accepted it, I did the stream, boom, bang, done. And that was it. And then since then, there really hasn't been anything besides like little mobile game offers. And I was like, what the hell gives? What happened here? So finally now, it seems like this week there may be an offer for something that I'm interested in. And I've tried to get into it, and I'll let you know what happens. If I do get accepted, I'm going to try to do it Tuesday night. Okay? We'll see what happens. And, we'll see what happens. And we'll go from there. I don't want to promise you guys the world. If it does happen Tuesday night, obviously the more of you who show up to watch, the better. Because the sponsored stream, the point is to get eyes on a game, right? So I'll let you know once I get accepted and all that details clear and everything, and we'll go from there. Okay?
I get to choose a horse.
Okay, now let's get into the soundbite, and let's see what can really come about from a sponsored stream and what money can really be made. Now remember, going into this video, Phil is a full-time streamer, right? This is his profession now. YouTube is just an archive, okay? So I want you to think about what happens when you're narrow-minded, and let's actually take a look at this. This is by The Sky's Toast, by the way. I'll have the link to his video in the description, as well as the other videos that I mentioned earlier. Here we go.
This one is so comprehensive that I will probably have to do another standalone video on it because sponsorship has a huge range. But to give you the basics, here are ways a Twitch streamer can get sponsored to do something. A sponsored stream, a sponsored YouTube video, a sponsored live appearance at an event, a sponsored tweet, or a sponsored Instagram post. A sponsored stream is when a streamer is paid to play a certain game. For example, recently, EA paid all the top streamers on Twitch to play Battlefield 5. You can tell because all these streamers put the hashtag ad in their title, hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored. This is because they are legally obligated to do so by the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. The hourly rate for these paid gameplay usually ranges between 1 cent to $1 per viewer, which means someone like me, who averages 10,000 viewers, can get paid between $1,000 to $10,000 per hour to play a game. And yes, I have done 1,000 per hour, and I've also done 10,000 per hour personally. So that's a pretty wide range, right? At the very end, you have 10 times what you get at the beginning. And the reason for this is there's a lot of factors. It's like, how fun is the game? How much money does the company have? You know, a mobile game from Asia probably have deeper pockets than an indie passion project on Steam. So one personal example I can give you is Battleright. Every time they ask me to play their game, I don't really care about how much money they're offering because the game is fun and I enjoy playing it. So even if it's like $1,000 an hour, it's like, yeah, I really enjoy your game, I'm gonna do it. And it sounds weird, right? Me being okay with only getting paid $1,000 an hour, and it's It's a weird thing when you hear it out loud, like hear me say, I'm okay with getting paid $1,000, but that's just how the industry is. On the other hand, I've turned down games offering $10,000 per hour, and that's because the game they want me to market is just, what's the nice way to say it? Dog shit. Yeah, that's putting it nicely. And when games like that happen, they will essentially have to pay me Scrooge McDuck swimming in cash level amount of money for me to be okay with playing it. If I'm gonna force myself to go through 3 hours of mind-numbing gameplay, it needs to be worth it. And for it to be worth it, there needs to be a lot of money on the table. And a lot of you might think of me as a money grubber because of this, and that's fine. I'm just trying to give you a realistic mindset that I have when dealing with sponsorships. I know there are people in the real world working a 9-to-5 job every day just to get by, and here I am expecting more money to play bad video games. It can definitely warp your perception on the value of money. Sponsored YouTube videos are around $5,000 per video for a 30-second ad. Live appearances at events ranges between $5,000 to $10,000. Tweets and Instagram posts are usually packaged into the deals because, you know, our main platform isn't Instagram, it's not Twitter, it's Twitch. So those are added onto our deals. And as I said at the start, all these numbers I have given you is based off my own experience as a Twitch streamer who averages 10,000 viewers. It is consistent with my friends who have 500 viewers. It is consistent with my friends who have 50,000 viewers. So this one is so comprehensive that I will probably have to do another standalone video on it.
Okay, thank you, Disguised Toast. The link to his video will be in the description. Like I said, we will end up going over that video in its entirety at another time because it can all be applied to Phil in some way, shape, or form. But did you hear what he said about mobile games? The same thing that he shitted on earlier, you heard what kind of money can be made off those too. For someone to be a businessman or a woman, or just to be in business in general, you have to be open-minded to everything. You should never close yourself off. You're seeing that on YouTube now, actually, where people are reaching out and doing other types of content. You're seeing different communities cross over. There's nothing wrong with any of that. Some people are moving on to those opportunities a little faster than others. It doesn't necessarily matter, and you can still be very successful where you're at. Everybody's going to hit a ceiling eventually, you know what I'm saying? But you should at least keep your options open to whatever's available to you. So that's my best advice to you as it pertains to that. As it pertains to Phil, he's an idiot. He's an absolute idiot. Like, that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is real money. And even to someone like Toast, to D-Toast, I'll call him, even he says that's the lower rung compared to what can be made. And he's pulling about $20,000 a month. No begging. No begging. I know, it's kind of weird if you've watched all my videos and over the person that I report on. It seems odd, indeed. But yeah, it's crazy, ain't it? But it's a great video. I'll leave the link in the description. And like I said, we got that clip, right? All right, we're keeping that clip because I'm going to want other clips of that video too because it's useful. It's universally useful. So shouts out to D-Toast. Thank you very much for making that video. Great video. All right, let's finish this up.
Just fucking give me anyone. I don't care. Give me the horse on the left. It's probably the best horse. That's why he doesn't want me to have it. I like that one. Fuck you. Well, I got my horse. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and cut that there. So, we will wait for the aftermath of whatever this sponsored stream is. It should be interesting. I would assume there'll be, whether there's a hang-up or not, we're not sure. Phil's going to try to be crafty, I would assume, about this moving forward. But we will see. As soon as we find out what the results are of that, we will report on it right away. Well, somewhat right away. You know how I do. We'll move on from there. Yet again, shouts out to the Jackal's Lair and the Boys podcast with James Lesser, as well as all those other fellows up there. Shouts out to LSB, by the way. He had a birthday a couple days ago. I'm pretty sure I said something to him on Twitch wishing him a happy birthday, but if I didn't, then I wish him a happy birthday here. LSB, if you're hearing this, you know me, I'm late about shit. So, there you go on that. But happy birthday nonetheless, my dude. Check out his channel, by the way. Great channel. Also, check out Agent Proper and whatnot in the Pig Roach files. The link to those videos will be in my description box. Please check them all out. I hope you enjoy them. And that's it. I have a couple of small projects coming up. Someone on Twitter asked for a low tier god video. I actually have a video lined up for that, as well as Phil had some small clip of himself flexing. We will definitely go over that and see if it's worthwhile. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. I am your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Have a good day, guys. End the broadcast. Wait, what? Ladies and gentlemen, in the worst case scenario, this might be a two-parter. Don't know if we're going to actually attach it all into one video, or you'll get 2 videos in one day whenever this goes up, but this might actually become a two-parter. So, yeah, look forward to that. Not sure how we're going to pull that off. Have a good day. Oh, man, I'll see you guys later.
Niggas can't touch me, baby. Okay, maybe Jay-Z or maybe not. Pardon if I sound lazy. I've been puffing crazy, writing puff shit. So motherfucker, fuck you, pay me or lay down in your feces. My guns talk, I'm speechless. My pen's that teller, I bend that fella, and I peep this. I eat you, then wash it down with who you eat with. Me and Elzhi, yeah, we split. He's sick, I'm sick. I'm sick of how sick he is. He's sick of how sick me is. Me, baby, me, sickest in the D. Since the shady LP, I could fuck. That's what ladies tell me. 83, I was fucking, I was 6. Head in my mama's daycare, yeah, that was nothing, I'm the shit. Back into my rhyme again. Niggas call me arrogant, that's because I'm confident. I found it when I found a pen. 3 deals later, 3 meals later, trying to win. About to be signed again, that's right, I'm about to clown again. Knock, knock, who is that? It's the cat, that is snap. Throw cheese in the trap, on your homie, you a rat. Ha ha ha, I'm back, matter of fact, I never left. Those who say they ain't expect it, can't accept it. Haters left this, boy, no choice but to blow. Fuck another hoe from on another pole. Fuck a show, fuck a flow. I'm about getting money fast while you rapping. Or perhaps you hustling, sucking slow. Ice glow, sticky green, Butch Jones, sicky team. Cook pone, put powerful white boy. Ricky Cream, get him straight if he lean. 50 fiends in the line, nickel 9, been around. Niggas you a nil around. From a line to a rhyme, I'm a dime. Now when I'm around, niggas calming down, eating like it's Ramadan.